What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, family? Thank y'all for jumping in. What's going on, family? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Thank everybody for tuning in. Shalom. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody doing good. Hope everybody doing good. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I hope everybody doing good. Y'all make sure that y'all go ahead and hit the notification button. It should be a button on the page that talks about notifications and things of that nature, so you can be notified when I go live. It should be a notification button on there to let you know when I go live. You should be able to get the notification. Should be some kind of button somewhere. I'm tuning in, man, to just talk about. We got an awesome class coming up. Awesome class coming up. We're going to be dealing with some of the things in the Kemetic science. I know some of you probably see the title here. Hey, what's going on, Brother Beat Bros? Can't wait for your message, man. I'm getting excited already about next month and whatnot. Boom, Jacksonville family, what's going on? And so I know many of you see the title, Abraham the Gentile. And so we're going to look at that in establishing some things dealing with Kemet. It's important for us to go back to pre-Mizraim or pre-Kemet so we can get an insight and look at some things, the journey, especially if we're going to defend who our father is, would be Abraham. We have to look at his transition. And before there was a Jacob, before there was a Israel, we should be able to. What's going on, Brother Barry Lyons? How you doing? What's going on, Pastor Moray? Hope everything going great. Can't wait, man. I'm telling you, 2019, we are coming to Israel, and so I'm excited about that. And so hopefully look forward to you. I know we talked about James 1:1, so I'll be definitely getting in contact with you as well, so we can kind of get that panned out and whatnot for James 1:1. But I know many of you see the title on here. We're getting ready to have a class dealing with Kemet and Pan-Africanism, as though you know the Dr. Umar Johnsons, the old Brother Polites of the world, the Ray Hagans, the Young Pharaohs, the Garfields, so many different people that are out here teaching. What's the other brother name who would not debate me when I was debating? I can't think of Kevin Wesley. And all these brothers out here who was pushing a lot of this anti-Bible, and the Bible is the white man book, and becoming very influential within the body of believers, and causing a lot of young babes to stumble, and a lot of our Bible-believing brothers and sisters are causing them to stumble because of some of the questions that they're getting hit with. And so it's important for us to look at hopefully my screen isn't freezing, pre-Israel, pre-Jacob, because I know sometimes we get into a lot of deep heavy conversation about Israel and who we are as a people. But we also have to understand that Abraham was not an Israelite, that Noah was not an Israelite, that Adam was not an Israelite. All right. And so in order for us to defend our position in the Bible, we just can't stop at just saying, okay, yeah, we the Israelites, we the people of the book. Okay, but there are people who are coming against the Bible, and they are going pre-Israel, pre-Israelites, pre-Jacob to establish and prove their points. And so it's important for us to be able to establish our understanding and know and start that, okay, if Abraham was not a Hebrew, where did he come from? I was like, I didn't have, man, nature, boy. I have no doggone conversation about that dude. I don't even know what he is, man. I don't even think he's not Kemetic. I don't know what he is. He's not Pan-African. he's nature boy. You know, yeah, that talking to the trees and hugging the trees and talking about the trees, and the flowers are crying and the flowers are talking to him, talking about they want they want a sandwich and all this kind of stuff. I didn't even talk about that dude. But it's important for us to understand, to get some clarity and understanding when dealing with Abraham and anyone that is outside of being an Israelite will be, the term Gentile will be added. That doesn't mean that he is not, that the Father didn't make promise to him or whatnot. But it's important for us to understand the establishment of our nation. And the promise really had nothing to do with pretty much us. It was the promise that was made to Abraham, our forefather, who the Father, the Creator, had called and took a people out of a people to establish a people, to be able to be the light, for everyone, to be able to give them, a clear visual of how to follow the Father. And so we have a great responsibility as the children of Israel, but also it's important for us to be educationally sharp to know. So where does, if Abraham is not an Israelite, then he comes from Ur. If you understand the history of Ur, his parents were, absolutely, Reverend Sewell, it does come from Eber. If you understand Ur and Abraham's parents, they were pagan worshipers. They come from, Ur, which was a part of Sumer. If you understand Sumer was a city-state that was also within Mesopotamia. And so when you begin to look at those things about Sumer and Ur, and you start seeing a lot of historical things, we're gonna I'm gonna be showing you some artifacts. I'm gonna be showing you some things that is within the understanding to be able to defend by seeing those things. And when you begin to look at that, you'll see why he told Abram to go. Okay, you're going to have to leave where you're at, the place in which you reside and the place in which you live, your family and its structure. They are pagan worshipers. So sometimes the Most High calls us to leave a place where we're at that can be a distraction, so that he can get us all to a place by himself to be able to deal with us. We see that Christ did that a lot with his disciples. He would get them all to a place by themselves, so that way he can teach them properly without the distractions. And even in our lives today, sometimes we have to let people go. Sometimes we have to walk away from people. Sometimes we have to do all sorts of things to make sure that we are hearing from the Father, our Heavenly Father, and get the correct, proper instruction. So a part of Abraham's leaving Ur was also for him to be able to get to that place, but also if he is to become the father of faith. What's going on, Mike Jennings? What's going on, bro? Hey, man, look, we got to get together. I keep coming to Jacksonville, and we ain't got together yet. That's one of my brothers, man, from high school. We played together football. We both left the same year and went to college, and he had a great NFL career and things like that. So we got to get together, man. We got to sit down and talk. Been a minute. And congratulations to your mom again. She's a great woman of God and things of that nature. So, but we definitely have to understand that in order for us to have a thorough, complete understanding of why Israel is chosen and why they were given a covenant and the responsibility of being a child of Israel, it's very important to understand the origin in which your grandparents come from. I know many don't talk about. Love you as well, bro. Love you as well. You're doing some great work, man. I see what you're doing out there with that camera, man. With that camera, you're doing some great work. But it's important for us to understand the history of where our grandparents come from and where those who came before us came from. And so in order for us to get a complete understanding of that, we have to do a little digging and do research and go and find out. And there's nothing wrong with saying that Abraham was not an Israelite. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong to say that Abraham was not a Hebrew. There's nothing wrong with saying that Noah was not a Hebrew. It shows the testament of the love that the Father had for creation, to even take a people, to be able to pull them out of a people and give them something to set them aside from everyone else, to be able to show them or the world or people who would accept him how to do this. There needed to be an example at that period of time. We even had Christ, the Son of the Father, come down to give us an example of how to truly walk and get a thorough and complete understanding of things. So it's nothing wrong. I know many people would get offended by me saying Abraham was a Gentile, but it's not. That's historically accurate, especially when you're looking at the region in which he would come from. And dealing with and then Sumeria is there. And the reason why it's important to understand that is because when you have Kemetic brothers and sisters who come at you and they're going to push this narrative that Egypt or Misraim was the greatest empire of the world and all of these things. And I showed you some of the videos and footage from some of their so-called scholars that would even admit and tell you, like Dr. Ben, one who they actually look at as one of their founding fathers or great fathers. Even Dr. Ben even said that Egypt, the only thing that made Egypt so great was because they were the first ones to basically take and write down and notate a lot of things, a lot of their records. That doesn't mean that they were the first ones to establish everything. And so henceforth, the reason what makes it so great is because when we start going into looking at Mesopotamia and looking at Sumer, you're going to find out that there's some information and historical things about ancient Sumer that predates Egypt or predates Mizraim. So it's going to be very important when we go into this lecture and we go into this class. You're going to see I'm going to be pulling some things out. I'm going to give you some sources. I'm going to be giving you all types of things that way you can go and buy and purchase these things yourself. But not only that, I tell brothers and sisters all the time, information can be used as it's a powerful weapon, but it can be dangerous in the wrong hands, or it can be dangerous to an immature mind. So the thing is that it's very important that don't just take the class for information's sake because you want to show somebody something, but you want to take the class to be able to not only take it, but to be able to defend exactly what you believe. If you say you believe the Bible, you say you believe that Christ is the only way, you believe that he is the savior of the world and he redeems people and all these things, you follow the Bible, then you need to have this form of information, not to go out here and just start fights. Okay, that's the first thing that I tell young minds. Don't go out here and try to start fights. Just because you got some information, that doesn't mean you have to spew it. Okay, you use the information when it's time to use it. You use the information in the literature when someone approach you or when someone is coming against. You don't use it to start fights. It's just almost kind of like the movie The Karate Kid, you know, back in the day where Cobra Kai, they would go out and just start fights just to show people how much they know, versus martial arts is supposed to be mostly pretty much a defensive fighting style when someone is coming after you and approaching you. So you don't use it for that to start fights and things of that nature. If you do, the Father will deal with you. You will get dealt with because we have a great responsibility as believers to make sure that we hold on to these things that hold dear. But yeah, we're going to dig into Sumer. We're going to look at some things. Matter of fact, I'm going to go into some of the information here, and we're going to look at, and I'm going to be showing you, we're going to get into some of the Sumerian origins of Egypt, okay? Hieroglyphs and radical culture and official words in the Egyptian language. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to go into, and I'm going to show you that the things that were in ancient Sumer predates Egypt, okay? Which Abraham comes from the region of Sumer, or comes from which is a part of Sumeria, which is a city-state of Mesopotamia. So I'm going to show you that there was innovation in all of these things, okay? All these things, innovation in all of these things, all right, that were in ancient Sumer or Mesopotamia before there was a such thing as Egypt or Kemet or Mizraim, okay, whichever title you want to use for the specific region, okay. I'm going to go into some things here. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you the sources, okay. I'm going to show you how, and I know some of the words are probably backwards. We're going to look at some of these hieroglyphs. We're going to go into some of the metaneta, and I'm going to show you in some of these glyphs how ancient Sumerian glyphs, cylinder seals, and all of these things that you see in Egypt were already in Mesopotamia before there was a land. All right, before there was a reign or a rulership of Egypt. Okay, now I know the words are backwards here because I think where the camera is, but on this side you see the glyphs. Okay, ancient Sumerian glyphs. On this side you see the Egyptian glyphs. All right, and you're going to see that they are very similar, even when it comes down to the cylinder seals. All right, we're going to get into these cylinder seals, and I'm going to show you that the Ankh, okay, that the Ankh that many people wear, you see with the cross with the handle on it, right? I'm going to show you that the Ankh was already in ancient Mesopotamia before there was a such thing called the Great Egypt. And I'm going to show you that because cylinder seals was something that was used to stamp when people did trading and all sorts of things. All right, so I'm going to show. We're going to dig into this thing. All right, we're going to dig into this thing, and we're going to dig into it. I'm going to give you credible sources. All right, credible sources. So it's not like people signing up for a class that they're just going to take some class and you know you're going to get somebody putting up a video just talking about somebody and all this kind of no, bro. Many of y'all done been to my lectures. Many of y'all, when I was doing the Truth Tour, it's a whole lot of people done been to my classes. They done been to, y'all even seen some of the work I've done on Facebook Live. I've given a lot of things out, a lot of research that I've done. Okay, all right. So I've done a lot of things, a lot of research, a lot of study, a lot of time that I put in. And I've given a lot of things to a lot of brothers and sisters over the last 2 or 3 years for free. All right. So this class is something, this is the first class that I've ever done where there was a registration. Okay. And it's because of the fact of some of the things that we're going to be pulling out and some of the money that I've spent to, you know, purchase my own books and all these things. So the $40 registration is just something that for pretty much the time just putting in. All right. So this is the reason why we're doing that. But we're going to be dropping some heavy stuff. We're going to deal with a lot of questions. I'm going to open up the floor. We'll be bringing people in on the live if they have questions and things of that nature to be able to get into it. All right. Let's look here. Let me see what else we got here. All right. Let's see some of the inscriptions. All right. Let's read this here. Check this out. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's deal with some Sumerian civilization. All right, let's deal with some of the things that's in Egypt. All right, and I'm gonna give you again. You're gonna get the source to all pretty much everything that you need, whether it's scriptural source, because there we will be going into the Bible, and I'm gonna be showing you some things biblically that's there. And so let's look at this here. Menes, the first independent king of United Egypt. All right. Is the traditional introducer and establisher of civilization in ancient Egypt. Though we have seen that his father, Sargon, and his grandmother and great-grandfather were also pre-dynastic pharaohs and thus possessed the same civilization. Listen to this. What Menes appeared to have done was to vastly increase the elements of sporadic Sumerian civilization introduced by his father and other pre-dynastic kings and to have established it firmly for the first time. Significantly, the civilization that he brought with him and established in Egypt. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. All right. He brought it with him and he established it in Egypt. Okay. Now, when we start getting into the first Pharaoh, all right, that's another nugget we're going to drop on you. All right. Everybody is arguing about, well, who was the first Pharaoh? So let's think about this. The first Pharaoh that we read in the scriptures had favor. Had favor. This is I want y'all to check this out. This is very important you to understand. The first Pharaoh in the biblical text, okay, that had favor with the Most High, who was partners and homeboys with Joseph. How could he have favor? How did he know? How did he have favor? Unless it's somebody that had relationship and knew who the Most High was. Remember, after him rose up a Pharaoh who did not know the Most High. So if that Pharaoh didn't know the Most High, that means the Pharaoh who previously was the Pharaoh did, or the Nasut did. Henceforth, the reason why he had favor. The one that was after him, who did not know the Most High, this is the reason why he had the problems that he had. This is the reason why Moses dealt with him that way. And this is the reason why Joseph didn't deal with him that way. Or the Most High didn't use Joseph to deal with him that way. All right. But the Most High used Joseph to deal with him in a certain manner and gave Joseph the vision to preserve Egypt. And the reason why the Father says, don't hate the Egyptian because you were a stranger in his land is simply because that particular Pharaoh and those people that was in the land who knew the Father, they treated you pretty well. They didn't dog you out. But the Pharaoh that was after, who didn't know, who dogged you out, he got dealt with. So when we're going to look at and see, well, who was the first Pharaoh? Let's see who was the first Pharaoh. Okay, we're going to get into that too in the class, all right? The class is this Saturday, all right? I extended the deadline. Some people was asking about it. So I extended the deadline to this Friday. And so we're going to look at that and whatnot. So I extended the class to this Friday. You can sign up for the class. The Cash App is $ It's Majors. All right. But let's keep reading it. Look what it says. All right. My knees. Significantly, the civilization that he brought with him and established in Egypt is now seen to be of the same general kind as the Sumerian. Wait a minute, hold on. It seemed like Egypt biting off somebody. But brothers running around here in Egypt, these Kemetic brothers and Pan-African brothers, love running around here talking about the Bible plagiarized Egypt. The Bible plagiarized Mayat. And Moses plagiarized all of his information and everything. But wait a minute, let's see here. Y'all couldn't have been the first original people to be great. There was somebody that was before you where you got some of your stuff from. So see, here's the problem. We don't deny as Hebrews. We don't deny that our father Moses didn't learn anything in Egypt. We didn't deny that he didn't get an education in Egypt. We don't deny that. But what we say is that he did not plagiarize or steal anything from Egypt. He got it from the Most High. And we can prove that. Because Mayat's confessions, not laws, confessions, all right, are not a plagiarism of the laws. All right, and we're going to get into that too, dealing with this whole Mayat thing. All right, and we stole this and stole that, all this kind of stuff. We don't remember. Yeah, we know Moses grew up. The biblical records are there. Yeah, he grew up in Egypt. He learned the math. It's no different than any of us growing up in America and learning the English language, learning the mathematical system, learning the sciences, but we ain't American. And I know some people don't like that. Okay, I know some people don't like. We're not African American, as they say. All right, that is another systematic title that's placed. But no, there has to be an origin of a bloodline people. All right, and so that's the thing. Just because you grow up in a system, that doesn't mean that you are. The Chinese will tell you quick. They proud to be Chinese. They proud to be from China. All right, we got brothers and sisters from Africa. All right, they're proud to be from Africa. Okay, so it's nothing wrong with simply saying that Abraham was a Gentile or that Noah or anybody else before there was an Israelite. All right, but what we're saying is this: before there was anything known as a Kemet or Egypt of that manner, there was a Sumeria. There was a Mesopotamia. There was an in which Abraham had come from. So we're going to get into this. We're going to show you. We're going to prove all things biblically and historically. So that way you can be equipped. Okay, let's look what it says here. All right. And established in Egypt, these are things he brought with him, and established in Egypt, is now seen to be of the same kind, general kind, as Sumerian of the Sargonic period in Mesopotamia. Let's keep reading. His culture with its metal industry. Listen to this. Sumerian origin, it's gonna tell you straight up. All right. He came into Egypt and brought these things and established these things. Okay. But let's look at what it says here. What did he bring? His culture with its metal industries, irrigation by canals for agriculture. You know, everybody's about, oh, Egypt got the agriculture. We got all this kind of stuff. Even Dr. Ben says that Egypt, yes, it had some agriculture, but yet Dr. Ben even tell you that Egypt was not the one who started all this stuff. Okay, it was the first one to pretty much take and write their stuff down because everybody else wasn't notating. All right, they weren't notating their records and stuff like that. They would pass oral tradition down, but Egypt was the first ones to pretty much say, okay, we're not only going to just have oral tradition, but we're going to have written tradition. We're going to take and write down our stuff. Okay, let's read. What else? Pottery and art way before Easter. Alabaster bowls, cylinder seals for sealing on clay. I'm going to show you a Sumerian cylinder seal, and I'm going to show you some of the Mesopotamian stuff that was way before there was in Egypt. Okay, way before that. How is it that in Mesopotamia there's an Ankh in Mesopotamia before there was in Egypt? So Egypt is trying to stake claim to, yeah, you know, we didn't want rocking these Ankhs, the cross with the handle on it. When in Mesopotamia, they had the same thing too. And I wonder why. Because when he came into Egypt, all right, when it was united Egypt, he brought these things with him. All right, let's keep reading here. Look what it says. It says, cylinder seals for sealing on clay. All right, votive ceremonial stone, mace heads, forms of tombs, sun worship. Egypt, let's deal with this real quick. Let's deal with this real for y'all, for these brothers, okay? The Catholic Church wasn't the one who started sun worship. All right, let's stop this nonsense. Egypt was not the first one who started sun worship. Let's stop this madness. See, when I hear this stuff, I be like, bro, you ain't studied up, man. You ain't versed up. You're not studied up. All you've done, you went as far as Egypt. You haven't gone back further enough. I just told you that in they were pagan worshiping. All right, and I'm gonna show you some facts, some artifacts on that too, from Henceforth, a lot of these things in Sumeria and Mesopotamia, henceforth, the way they got a lot of this stuff where the Red Bull logo come from. Okay? The Red Bull logo that's on the can, that you will find some of that on the artifacts in Mesopotamia and ancient Sumer. Okay, all of these products that you see today. Okay, all of these products, Starbucks and all of this stuff, a lot of this stuff is ancient Sumerian, Mesopotamian goddesses and gods and artifacts. But all y'all know is Egypt. Y'all just like the Kemetic brothers. And I'm just saying about Hebrew brothers, I'm saying, and the Christian brothers and sisters, Christian brothers, y'all don't even really know too much about Egypt, okay? I mean, this stuff is crazy. Christian brothers and sisters, they don't really have no clue about Egypt. And I ain't saying all of y'all, because there are some Christian brothers and sisters who are well versed. I'm not saying all of y'all, but the majority of y'all don't even know nothing really about Egypt. All y'all know is about what happened with Pharaoh and Moses. That's all y'all know. All right, and that's all y'all want to know. All right, and this is the reason why it's so many people getting deceived. Okay, in the Christian church. And the Hebrew brothers and sisters, y'all the same way. All y'all want to know about is Deuteronomy 28, and all y'all want to know about is Egypt. That's it. Oh, well, all you want to talk about is Moses. All day. Moses. What about, what was going on before Moses? All right, if you're going to understand something, you got to go before Moses. All right, you have to understand it. Listen, I was sitting there, and we was in our service in Jacksonville, at Boom Church in Jacksonville. And I haven't got a chance to make this statement in Atlanta, but I ain't going to be able to make it now because they're going to hear it and see it. But in Boom Church, Jacksonville, I was teaching, and I stood up, and I said, all of us are Gentiles, technically. You should have saw the face on the congregation. There's Pastor, you are blasphemy. You blaspheming, Pastor. What are you talking about? We Israelites. I say, was Abraham an Israelite? I was making a point when I said it. I know we the children of Israel. That's not so, but I was making a point. If it had not been for the Most High, because the Most High, he took us out of a people. He didn't take us out of Israelites. He took us out of a people who were not Israelites. It started, the promise was made, and the promise was made with Abraham, who was not an Israelite. So that's the point that I was making, because I knew it was going to be shock value on their faces. That's why I said it. And it flew over their head. They didn't catch it. And I had to explain to them what I'm saying. Here's what I'm talking about. If it had not, the Father is the one who set us aside. It was not ourselves. And the promise didn't start with Jacob, who name changed to Israel. It started with Abraham. It ain't had nothing to do with us. He's keeping his promise that he made to Abraham. And that ain't talking about us. The promise that was made with Abraham is the reason why we are who we are today. And so that's the point that I was making. So when we begin to look at this, let's look at some more. Let's get some understanding here, all right? All right. And I'm going to be going through some of this thing, okay? All right. And here it is. It says here, sun worship. He brought sun worship into Egypt. Remember, listen, I want y'all to check this out. Before there rose up a Pharaoh who did not know Joseph and the Most High. Remember, when Abram and Sarah went in, Abram said, "This is my sister." So how did the king know about adultery? He was mad with Abram because he's like, yo, you lied to me. You almost had me committing adultery. How did he know what adultery was if he didn't know who the Most High was? If he did not know who the Most High, because at that point in time, everybody had the instruction on what was right and what was wrong. This is why he knew. He said, Abraham, man, I ought to kill you, man. And the Most High told him, say, I ought to kill you for even stepping over there trying to sleep with her. I ought to kill you for that. So the Pharaoh who rose up, the Pharaoh who was in the land when Joseph was there, He knew who the Most High was. He knew the instruction that God had given. At that time, it wasn't no Israelites. All right? I'm sorry, I'm doing the time with Abraham. That's what I'm saying. During the time with Abraham, at that time, it wasn't no Israelites. So we have to understand the significance of the promise that was made to Abraham, which had nothing to do with us. The only reason why we're in this situation is because the promise that he made with Abraham. Who Abraham, parents, was a sun worshiper. Henceforth, the reason why we're reading here in this book, when I'm going to be teaching this class coming up, and we're going to get into more of this book, okay? Henceforth is the reason why. It says here that he brought sun worship into Egypt. Because why? He came from Ur. He came from Sumeria, Mesopotamia. They were sun worshipers and pagan worshipers, all right? Came into Egypt and brought that mess up in Egypt. And when it got up in Egypt, the Pharaoh who rose up that didn't know the Father, okay, he started following the instructions too that came from ancient Sumer, ancient Mesopotamia, Ur. Henceforth, now the children of Israel come on the scene. Guess what happened? They turn around, they in Egypt, and they pick up on the same madness. Henceforth, the reason why the Father had to take the laws that was already in the earth, put it on stone, and give it to a people and say, listen, you need to keep these things guarded and protected with your life. I'm going to use you, I call the people out of a people and use you to teach everybody else. Here's the instruction. Everybody else had the oral law. I'm going to make it simpler for you. I'm going to write it down for you so you can meditate on it day and night, because you're going to need it dealing with all these crazy, wicked, pagan worshipers out here in the earth. The earth have turned on me, and I'm going to call you, not because you chose me, not because you good, not because you special and all this other stuff and you so great. No, I need a people to use a people to show a people how to live right. And we couldn't even do that. Okay, so let's keep reading it. Look what it says here. It says here, sun worship and writing in Sumerian script and in Sumerian language, soon becoming modified by the introduction of Aboriginal Semitic idioms. Wait a minute, hold on. Who was Semitic? So what, are we not Semitic people? So if this brother comes from Sumer and he brings this Semitic origin into Egypt, hold on, wait a minute. That means your bloodline goes back to Ur, okay? It goes back to Sumer. It goes back to Mesopotamia. All right? This is what, you're not the first Semitic people. No, the folks that was in Sumer was Semitic. They were Semitic. That's where it come from. This is where all this comes from. It started when he told Abraham, I need you to leave because your children don't need to be born in this land of wickedness. Get your behind out of here. I need you to get off by yourself. So when your children are born, they born in a place where they don't have no distractions. Dealing with all this pagan worship, sun worship, and all this other stuff going on. So make sure that when you go. I need you to go first. I don't need you having no kids and all these. I don't need you to have all this other stuff going on. Okay? I don't need you to have all this stuff going on and having children. All right? I don't need you having all them children in the land of Ur. Because they're going to turn up being just like your parents and just like you. So I need you to go. I'm going to show when you go. I need to see, do you have faith in me? Because if you trust me, you will leave without me telling you where to go. Or are you codependent and do you love the place where you at? Do you love pagan worship? Do you love that place where you at? Are you codependent upon that place? Or do you trust me? Because I'm going to provide for you. But it ain't going to be here in earth. These folks crazy. All right, let's look what it says here. It says here, the introduction of Aboriginal Semitic idioms and by a local neo-Archaism informing the Sumerian pictographs, resulting in the standard stereotype Egyptian hieroglyphs. I just told you the Sumerian pictographs that you seen that I was showing you earlier. Oh yeah, those pictographs that you see, those glyphs, they are Sumerian in origin. The glyphs started in Sumer, just like the Ankh started in Sumer. It wasn't until he came up into doggone Egypt is when they started adapting their stuff and started, doing a little changes to the glyphs and making it their own. Basically, they plagiarized without giving Sumeria credit. Okay, so therefore, from the beginning, our forefathers had already been solid in education. All right, it's the reason why we're able to go into all these countries and all these lands, even in the biblical days, and build their stuff. All right? Everybody knew that because from the time in Sumer, we built cities in Sumer. Way before there was an Egypt or a Mizraim or Kemet. Way before that. We had the education. We built it. We had the astronomy. We had the astrology. We had the mathematics. We had the sciences. All of that stuff. So guess what? When they put us into hard bondage, we didn't need them to tell us how to build no pyramids. We already knew how to build pyramids. All right? Because there were pyramids already erected way before there was an Egypt. All right? But we was building pyramids way before that. And I'm going to show you that too in the class. There's pyramids built way before that. I don't know where they get this stuff from. So we come to America. We ain't need them to give us no doggone, we ain't need to see no architect maps and all that. We build stuff. That's why Big Mama can go in the kitchen. She don't need no measuring cups. Big Mama go in the kitchen and she can cook something 20 times without a measuring cup or anything, and it tastes the same. This stuff is in us. Come on, man. I don't know where these folks get this stuff from. I don't know where these folks get this stuff from. I don't know where they get this stuff from. We don't need this stuff. Look, you don't need, listen, Joe in the community with the cigarette on his lip that fixed cars, Joe don't need to go on YouTube. Joe do not have to go on YouTube to figure it out. Joe ain't got to go to mechanic school. Joe ain't got to do none of that. All you got to do is pull up, give Joe a 6-pack or a 12-pack of beer or some Heineken or something. He put that cigarette on the end of his lip. He look at it. He crank it up. He listened to it and turn around. Next thing you know, Joe says the alternator, it's the radiator, it's whatever. Give me 20, give me an hour and a half and come back and the car fixed. Man ain't never been to school. Man ain't never been to none of that stuff. It's in us to build. We've already had the knowledge to build. All right. That's why we can go anywhere and survive. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out a way. I'm telling you, we're going to figure out a way. You could drop us off on an island with nothing. We're going to survive because we know how to do it. It's already in us. All right. So brothers and sisters, man, I'll see y'all, man. See y'all later. This Friday is the deadline for the class. The class is $40. You can sign up. The instructions on my page, the flyer on my page, the Cash App. Screenshot your receipt, inbox it to me. I will add you to the group, and we're going to get it in. We're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with the bones and where the bones at. And, they love talking about the bones. We're going to get a history of why we aren't bone collectors and why we don't worship the dead. All right. And all this kind of stuff and why we just don't do that type of stuff. And we're going to pull it out in the scripture. We're going to deal with a lot of things. All right. It's going to be a whole lot of stuff. All right. We're going to be rocking and dealing with a lot of their claims. And we're gonna break this thing down. So definitely big shout out to all the Bible believers out there, Hebrews, Christians, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. All the Messianic believers out there. We're gonna get in and talk about it. We're gonna have this class. We're gonna do some class We're going to do some more classes, man. You know, this Kemet ain't the only one, but we're going to deal with Esau. We're going to deal with that stuff too. We're going to deal with all this. These classes are going to be popping. We're going to be dealing with this Esau's doctrine. We're going to be dealing with a whole lot of doctrines, all right? We're going to be dealing with doctrines with people who carry the Bible, all right? Because it's important for us to stand on truth. So whatever the truth is, what's going on, Leo? What's going on, bro? How you doing, man? All right, long time, bro. Long time, man. All right, we're gonna be dealing with a lot of these doctrines, man. We're gonna deal with a lot of the non-Messianic doctrine. We're gonna deal with that. There's a lot of doctrine. There's a lot of stuff. These class gonna get the pop. We're gonna be diving into this stuff. We're gonna dive into it heavy. All right, we're gonna be bringing this stuff out. All right, and making sure that everybody is solid when it comes down to dealing with the truth. And I'm also soon gonna be having classes on evangelism. How do I evangelize my family? To first, accepting Christ. All right. Second, living holy, living right, or if you want to say keep the Torah. Okay, that's the only way to live holy and live right. You got to follow the instructions. And then lastly, because the last thing to me, and the other brothers have their own, emphasis, their own structures and order. But the last thing to me is how do I get my parents to embrace heritage? All right. But if they're not going to embrace living right, you might as well just hang it up. All right. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged based off of how you lived. All right. And so that for me, that is the thing. So evangelism is going to be the key to things. How do you just evangelize? Even dealing with your pastor, dealing with your dad, your wife, all of these different things. So we're gonna be having those courses coming up, and so it's gonna be awesome. 2019 is gonna be a great year for a lot of things we're gonna be dealing with and teaching on, and so I look forward to it, and I pray that all of you guys be able to be a part of these great classes going on. Also, if you are in the DMV area, if you are in DC, Maryland, or Virginia, and you are looking for a place to worship, a place to fellowship, Boom Church DMV is going down this Saturday at 1 p.m. You can get in contact with me or the Moray or Elder Kevin Waters in the DMV area. If you are in the Atlanta, Georgia area and you are looking for a place of worship as well, this Saturday we are having service at 5 p.m. All right, and I will be there teaching this Saturday. And then if you are in the Jacksonville, Florida area and you're looking for a place of worship, next Saturday we will be in Jacksonville, Florida, and Boom Church there. And so we're excited for what Boom is doing, and the Father is giving us a lot of favor. And also, James 1:1. If you haven't made it to James 1:1, you want to get there, because this year is going to be bigger than it was last year. We had over 200 and some people show up to James 1:1 last year. This year it's going to be even bigger. All right. And we want to do everything we can to keep it free. This is why we need your help. And I'll be putting out the information for the GoFundMe. We are looking to James 1:1 this year. I was thinking about it being on June, but James 1:1 is going to be probably in July. And so from July, we are trying to raise about $4,000. And that way, everyone can attend for free. That is the intent of the James 1:1 conference, is to make sure that everybody can come to a free, informative, relational, spirit-filled conference and don't have to worry about paying a dime. But it does cost money. In the facility that we rented last year, it is a very nice state-of-the-art facility, but it costs money to do this. And so if we say that we're in the truth, we should be able to fund the truth, especially with not having to. I didn't want to go the route of tickets, doing ticket sales. You got to buy tickets and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we can't do these things free without the finances. And so the point is that a lot go into, we got to rent the building for 2 days. They got big jumbotron screens, state-of-the-art sound system, all of this stuff. And so we have to be able to rent the facility. make sure a lot of other things are taken care of. And so we're going to be doing that. So we're going to start that campaign probably in January. I've already put out the list of artists that will be performing, which I'm very excited about seeing. And this is a dope lineup. These brothers are solid with rapping the gospel. And I'll be putting out the list of speakers. Last year was an awesome list. This year it's going to be even bigger and even better. And so the goal is to have brothers and sisters, Messianic believers from all over come to one location. We ain't tripping at, doctrinal differences to the side. If you tripping on the name, you might as well not even come, because there are Hebrews who still say Jesus. So if that's an issue for you, just don't even come, man. Straight up. I'm just being honest with you. Don't even come. Don't even waste your time, because there's no doctrinal. The doctrinal differences get left at your house when you come. If it's a non-salvation issue, we ain't tripping on that. And so the thing is, man, it's very important for us to understand these things. And last year, we had a lot of Christian brothers and sisters come for the first time. They've never experienced being around us balanced brothers and sisters. And a lot of them were blessed, and a lot of them have converted, or a lot of them have come into this awakening. Or a lot of them have always knew, but they just weren't able to be around people to experience the spirit of it. And so it's a lot of things like that, such nature going on. It was big last year, and so it's going to be bigger this year. We have baptism set up as well. We will be baptizing in the beach. Last year we had several. We baptized about 30 people last year. All right, and so on this year, I'm sorry, not last year, but 2018, this year, we baptized a total of about 30 people. And so I'm excited for what's going on and what the Father is doing. And so it's some great things. So James 101 coming up, but definitely feel free. You can go on my page. The information is there if you want to sign up for the class. The class is next Saturday at 9 p.m. I changed the time from morning to evening. So we're going to have the class around 9 o'clock on Saturday. If there be any other time changes, I will let you know. If it does, it may end up being like Friday or something, but not right now. It's Saturday. So I'll just keep you guys posted on that, and then we'll go from there. All right. Shalom to you all.